Hello everybody, my name is Harsh and today I am here to discuss the closure properties of CFL with you guys. So we all know that CFL is a context-free language which is generated by a context-free grammar. But what are the properties that are enclosed under it? So the first property that is enclosed under it is the union property. What union property says is that if L1 and L2 are two context-free languages, their union L1 union L2 will also be context-free. For example, let's take an L1. L1 says that L1 is AN, BN, CM, where M is greater than equal to 0 and N is greater than equal to 0. Okay. Let's also take an L2. L2 is AN, BM, CM, where N is greater than equal to 0 and M is also greater than equal to 0. Okay. So L1 says that number of A's should be equal to the number of B's and L2 says that number of B's should be equal to number of C's. Their union says either of the two conditions should be true. So it is also a context-free language. I'll repeat this for you. L1 says that A should be equal to the number of B's, okay, and L2 says B should be equal to number of C's, okay, and their union says that either of the two conditions should be true. So it is a context-free language. What we take from this particular outcome is that CFL is closed under union. I hope this is clear to you. Next property that we will discuss here is concatenation. Okay. So what concatenation basically says is if L1 and L2 are two context-free languages, their concatenation L1 dot L2 will also be a context-free language. For example, if L1, okay, if L1 equals to A power n, B power n, where n is greater than equal to 0 and L2 is C power m, B power m, where m is greater than equal to 0 and L3 is L1 dot L2 where A power n, B power n, C power m and D power m, where m and n are greater than 0. Okay. So what this is saying is that L3 is also a context-free language because L1 dot L2 is also a context-free language. Okay, L1 says the number of A's should be equal to the number of B's and L2 says that number of C's should be equal to the number of D's. Their concatenation says that first number of A's should be equal to the number of B's and then number of C's should be equal to the number of D's. So this might get a little bit confusing, so let me repeat it for you again. L1 says that number of A's should be equal to the number of B's and L2 says that number of C's should be equal to the number of D's. Their concatenation says that first number of A's should be equal to the number of B's and then number of C's should be equal to the number of D's. So we can create a PDA which will first push for A's, pop for B's, push for C's and then pop for D's. So it can be accepted by a push down automata. Hence this will become a context free language. So what we discuss from this is, so what we get from the discussion is that CFLs are also closed under concatenation. Next comes up is the clean closure. Clean closure says that if L1 is context free, its clean closure L1 star will also be context free. Okay, so if we have a L1 which is a power n b power n, where n is greater than equal to 0 and L1 star is a power n b power n, this is n, sorry, here n is greater than equal to 0, and upon this we put a star on the entire equation. So we are saying that L1 star is also a context free language. This is what we determine from a clean closure. So clean closure are also enclosed under CFLs. Next come up is intersection and complementation. Intersection So what this says is that if L1 and L2 are two context-free languages, their intersection L1 intersection L2 need not be context-free. For example, if L1 is equals to a power n, b power n and c power m, where n is greater than equal to 0 and m is greater than equal to 0. Also, L2 is a power m, b power n and c power n, where n is greater than equal to 0 and m is greater than equal to 0. Then L3, which is L1 intersection L2, need not be a CFL. This is important. This need not be a context free language. Okay, L1 says that number of A's should be equal to the number of B's, and L2 says that number of B's should be equal to the number of C's. Their intersection says that both conditions need to be true, but push down automata can compare only two, so it cannot be accepted by push down automata, hence it is not context free. Similarly, complementation of context free language L1, okay, complementation of a language which is L1, which is a union star, which is a summary star of L1, need not be a CFL. Okay, so what we get from this is that CFL are not enclosed under intersection and complementation. Okay, upcoming next is deterministic CFL. Deterministic CFL are subset of CFL which can be recognized by a deterministic PDA. Deterministic PDA has only one move from a given state, an input symbol. That means it does not have a choice. For a language to be DCFL, it should be clear when to push and when to pop. For a language to be DCFL, it should be clear that when to push and when to pop. These two are necessary conditions. Okay, for example, L1 is a power n, b power n and c power m, and m is greater than equal to 0 and so is n. Okay, Now, if we say that this is a DCFL, because for A's we can push on stack and for B's we can pop, it can be recognized by a deterministic PDA. Okay. On the other hand, if we have an L3, okay, if we have an L3 which is A power n, B power n and C power m, which is a union of A power n, B power m and C power m. Here n and m are greater than 0. This cannot be recognized by a DPDA. This cannot be recognized because either number of A's and B's can be equal to the number of B's and C's. So it can only be implemented by a NPDA. Thus, CFL is not DCFL. CFL is not DCFL. DCFLs are closed only under complementation and inverse homomorphism, which we will not discuss right now. So that was it, guys. Here I have discussed all the closure properties of context-free languages. I hope you like them and I am open to feedback. Thank you very much for watching.